So a lot of you guys watching have asked for a second passport that should not inform your home country government. So you want to keep this discreet, you want to keep this private. In this video, I'm going to discuss 4 options, 4 citizenships that you can quickly, and when I say quickly, it's in a matter of a couple of months that you can strike. And these new countries are not going to inform your home country government. Now, the first question is the curious question: why would you not want your home country to know about this citizenship? Is it to commit some sort of a crime? Nope, it's not to commit any crime. There's some specific reasons why certain country nationals absolutely cannot afford their home country to know about their new citizenship. I'm going to discuss the 4 countries in the second half, including a country that is the cheapest and the fastest. 30 days and you can actually get your citizenship through exception. And I'm going to discuss 3 other popular options. But in the first half, let me focus here on the top 10 reasons why people are looking to go underground. And when I say underground, this is a coined term. What this means is off the grid, off the radar, not to do anything illegal, not to escape or evade any sanctions or laws, but just to maintain high level of privacy, which you do not get in your home country in most cases. The first reason why people are trying to get this option or get a citizenship like this is the CCTV and facial recognition. Now, your home country government has cameras. Believe me, they have cameras everywhere. You look besides you and you're going to find a camera on that pole. So facial recognition is a big thing. You cannot escape that in your home country. The second one is a new one, and this is the license plate recognition. When you are in your home, okay, you have to exit somewhere, you're going to leave your home, go somewhere, go for grocery, go for any kind of work, your license plate is being tracked, and that's how they keep track of your activity. They monitor where you're traveling, and because of AI and because of unlimited storage, yes, they can afford to save your information. They can afford to save unlimited information on every single citizen. The third big one is phone location data. Now, you have so many apps and you're going to say yes or agree to the terms and conditions. Certain apps are going to force you to accept their terms and conditions. And the moment you accept some of these conditions, and some are just enforced, right? You want to use the app, you have to disclose your location, and they're going to track and supply and sell this information to entities, third parties, governments. Certain apps are designed by the government in order to track your cell phone data. Internet surveillance. Now, type your name. If you're, let's say, from a Western country, you know which country I'm talking about, type your name and get the background. Look at it. I mean, just think about it from a third-person perspective. Your entire life information is online. If someone wanted to come and get you, or someone wanted to come and visit and knock on your door, absolutely, they can straight away walk in and knock on your door and get to you. And a lot of people are okay with that. But a significantly large amount of population in 2026 is not okay with that. They don't want all their address history, the data, the financial information, the job information to be published on a list online that anyone can purchase for a couple of bucks. So internet surveillance is a big one. Data brokers. Now, there are a lot of companies, a lot of vendor agencies that are going to aggregate, collect from different sources. They're not your friends. Trust me, they're not your friends. They're trying to gain all this information from different sources, aggregate it together, create a package on a citizen, and then sell that information to whoever is interested. Biometric identity system. Now, almost all entities, all institutions, all companies, they are asking you for that biometric information. And if you haven't committed a crime, if you haven't done anything wrong, why would you not even give your biometric information to these entities? So yes, you are forced to give your biometric data. And then guess what? There is no security in certain cases. It's being sold in certain cases. So that's how you lose access to your privacy. Social media monitoring. Now, you are a weirdo if you don't have Instagram. You're an absolute weirdo if you don't have an X account. So you want to be, you absolutely want to, you're forced, right? Your job people are going to think you're crazy if you don't have a LinkedIn profile. So you are forced to create all these social media profiles. You don't know what information you're putting on which profile when you put that information. Something that you put years ago is floating on the internet. Guess what? The first thing you would like to do is go and delete that or remove that, but there's a snapshot, there's a history, there's a version of that already. You can't escape that. If someone wants to pull something controversial that you have deleted, that can easily be obtained. The next one is smart device telemetry. Now you have all those fancy rings, you have fancy watches, you have all these different tracking apps that you're putting on your body. Apart from your body information, right, your pulse rate, your heart rate, and all that kind of fancy stuff, they're tracking your location, they're monitoring several other elements, and that is super scary for some people. DNA and genetic databases, a lot of DNA companies are supplying these free kits, right? Test your DNA, check what's your ancestry and stuff like that. Once you fall prey for any one of those companies, your DNA is public, it's no longer private, and you're in a hot mess if this reaches the wrong hands. So these are some of the top reasons why you want a country that does not do this, or at least does not do 90% of this stuff. And that is where you want a safe country, a beautiful country, a low population country, so you can peacefully live inside. If shit hits the fan, this is the country. This should be the first country that should strike your mind. This is where you and your family should escape to or relocate to. And there are 4 options over here where you can not only obviously get access to the country, but you can strike a direct citizenship. Why do you need a citizenship? Why not just a residency? You need a citizenship because that's the ultimate protection in place. As I said, shit hits the fan, there's something that's put against you. Let's say you are right, you never did anything wrong, but your home country is draconian. They're trying to frame you, or they have already framed you. Then good luck. No country is going to entertain you. Forget about citizenship. No country is going to give you a residency. So here the objective is to quickly obtain that citizenship from a non-surveillance state. And what that does is then that opens up opportunities. It opens up the plan B. It helps you go underground, not to commit crimes, but to safeguard your and your family's future when the times are bad. Now, before I discuss these 4 options, I had a quick favor from you. If you feel that this channel adds any value, please go ahead and check your subscription. A lot of my regular viewers don't realize that they haven't yet subscribed. So please go ahead and turn that on. And I promise you, the moment there's any new program, any new change, you would be the first one to be notified. So please go ahead and turn on that subscription. Now, the first country, and as I promised, in the end, I'm going to discuss about the cheapest and the fastest and the best stepping stone option. That's towards the end. But the first country on this list is a citizenship by merit or citizenship by exception, and this is the country of Serbia. This is quite popular. There are multiple providers that talk about Serbia because this is readily available. What is the price point? It's between 300k and 400k of investment approximately that you're looking at. You invest this money in the country in an approved project, and you can apply for your citizenship by exception or citizenship by merit application. The pricing is not the main thing. That is just a ballpark number. It's really the merit or the substantial benefit that you're creating to the society. That documentation has to be there in place. That's the bread and butter. That's primary. And then apart from that, then of course you want to add some monetary value. You want to show some value to the country. And we have teams in all these countries. When I'm talking about these countries, we have specialists that help you strike the documentation, help you make the right investment in the country, and then apply for your citizenship. How much time does it take to get the Serbian citizenship? Approximately, it's 12 months. It used to be much faster, much cheaper before, but in 2026, this has tightened. It's close to a year. A lot of spotlights, a lot of scrutiny on Serbia just because of the number of people who are able to assist with this. The second country on this list is Albania. Now, Albania is special because it gives a 1-year visa-free access to a lot of nationalities. That is special because yes, you can have the citizenship, but your family members or your extended family members, like your parents or grandparents who are not getting the citizenship with you, they can enter and live in Albania for the whole year. So this makes this option special. It's a safe country, beautiful country. It's a non-EU European country. And the special thing about this one is that this is the most likely candidate to join the EU. Now, some people don't like that and some people like that. But if it joins the EU, then you get an EU citizenship. You could graduate to an EU citizenship. But till it does not join the EU, it's a non-surveillance state. It's not going to track the hell out of you. It is not going to inform your home country government. Now, when you're comparing a country like Albania to, let's say, a purchased passport like Nauru, or let's say the Caribbean passports, they are heavily plagued, in my opinion. And none of this is immigration, legal, or tax advice, but I feel some of those paid passport options, not something like a Vanuatu. Vanuatu is immune to all of this because they really don't listen. But the countries that absolutely listen to every single directive are going to put you under the water. They're going to put you in trouble when shit hits the fan. Your information is already where it needs to be. Everything is non-private. Everything is disclosed publicly. There's several scandals and scams that plague some of these systems. So those are the citizenships that do not qualify under this category. If you're looking to establish privacy or any kind of security, then or plan B security, then those are the ones that I would absolutely heavily avoid. I would definitely look at something like Albania, a beautiful option. What is the price point of Albania? The same price point between 300 and 400k approximately. That is the amount of investment that I would look at in this country. As I said, again, the approved project is very important. That's where the merit can be documented. Of course, we're going to look at your background. Your profile needs to be looked at. Everyone does something meaningful, and it's all about what meaning, what value you can add to the country. What is the skill set that you have that can contribute to that country of Albania? And that's how you draft and submit your application. The third country on this list is Georgia. Again, a non-EU European country. Georgia is good if you're also looking to extract some tax advantages from the country. So yeah, plan B security, yes, banking, but also taxation. There's some favorable tax regimes, the tax holidays in Georgia that you can benefit from. What is the price point for Georgia? This is slightly cheaper, talking about 300k plus in a project, in an approved project, which creates merit. And documentation, as I said, is the cornerstone, is the foundation. Here are three things that you absolutely want. One is the documentation should be strong, it should be solid, it should be in the format that is expected, in the local lingo, it should have all your skill sets documented. Second is you want the right connection. This application should reach the right ministry, the right panel of people. Then you want clear communication with that panel. Those 5 or 6 people that sit and evaluate your application, if they have questions, your attorney should be on track to explain or defend any situation. That's where that communication between your legal professional and the authorities becomes very valuable. And again, the investment has to be structured correctly. You can't just pay, can't just donate. It's not a CBI passport scheme. It's a more structured option. And finally, now the cheapest option here. Before I get to the cheapest, a bonus option also that I'd like to mention is the Malta. They switched from a pure CBI scheme to a CBM scheme. Yes, there are multiple vendors or multiple mid-tier agencies that work with the government that can assist with this program. The threshold here is flexible. Of course, it can't be in the 300 or $500,000 range. It has to be more than 1.5 million. But if you structure this correctly, if you work with the authorities, get the soft or pre-approvals for the amounts that you're talking about, for the skill set or the benefit that you're talking about, then this can be structured correctly and obtained for you and your family. Malta is an English-speaking country. That is the big advantage of this option. And finally, the cheapest, the absolute rock bottom cheapest and the most private option. This is typically a stepping stone. A lot of people get this citizenship and then they would add a CBI. So your CBI sits on this citizenship. It's a stepping stone. Whether you're stateless or for any other reason, you want to get a quick citizenship in 35, 40 days, 30 days, typically you get this, you strike this citizenship, and this is from an African nation. Now, unfortunately, you can't name every single citizenship. They don't prefer that, but there is an option. There's actually a couple of options in Africa. There's CPLP countries, there's ECOWAS country, and there's, in certain cases, it's both on the same passport. But this option is typically 90 to 100k euros, and you can strike this passport for yourself. This is for extreme cases, extremely high net worth individuals who want to protect their assets or relocate their assets or move with certain amount of privacy would usually consider something like this. This is not for the masses. This is not for all. For the masses, I think the better option would be Albania, Georgia, Serbia. Those are the three. For very high net worth individuals, it'll be Malta and this discrete option if they are looking for something totally exotic, totally private, totally discreet, and something absolutely fast. The other thing that's very important is the amount of information that you're providing during this citizenship process. The last option that I'm talking about asks for the least amount of legally required information. And how do you safeguard yourself? How do you say that the citizenship is legit? There are a few ways. Your passport should be issued by the embassy or the passport authority inside the country or the embassy outside. Secondly, your Ministry of Justice of the country should give you some confirmation of authorization that your citizenship is legit. They should provide you with documentation. You absolutely want a citizenship or naturalization certificate issued by the government. Of course, you want the passport. You also want a national ID card. So you want to have 5 or 6 different artifacts in place to make sure that you're safeguarded, because it's not a CBI. So if someone asks, okay, exception, what does that mean? Is it a legit citizenship? Do you have any other proof? So you should have at least 3 to 4 pieces of documentation that directly prove that your citizenship is from the country, your citizenship is legit. And as I said, at any point in time you are interested in striking any of these options, click the link, can have a quick chat, see which one is the best one, and get you started with 1, 2, or 3 or all these citizenships. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're subbed, and catch you in the next one.